What's going on, guys? MDLP from the Battle Axe, the Strongman Gym in Miami, where strength is everything. Gonna make a, I don't know why I can't stop fucking saying that. I gotta change my lines, man. So, just did some cardio. I'm obviously crazy sweaty. I try to turn the fan off so we have better sound quality of my magnificent voice. You know, just for this, the acoustics of the room. So, I'm gonna make a video, obviously, on something that I think is very, very important. It's something I think anybody who's a coach or anybody who runs a gym or whatever has to deal with these constant questions. And it's something that I've run into now, especially with the expansion of YouTube and Instagram and social media, where everyone's posting some really cool workout like every fucking week. And I'll basically break it down to this. I get asked constantly, and this is not pointing fingers, obviously I'm the same way, about what the fuck are people doing at 10:45 at night? I get asked all the time about, oh, does this work? You know, for example, like a seated, you know, sumo box squat, good morning, or the new, you know, the kind of Misha deadlift, or if they do chains this way, if they do pull-ups this way. Does this work? Does that work? My answer for every single thing is yes, everything works. The Smith machine, Big Z uses the Smith machine for overhead pressing. You cannot tell Big Z he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. So everything works. The thing that I tell everybody the most is, I write these things down obviously because I forget, is simplicity. Keep things simple. Occam's razor, right? Keep it simple, stupid. So I don't really mix things up and add crazy new things unless something is starting to build a demand, which will bring me to my next point, obviously. The more simple the movement, the easier it is to accomplish. The more you get out of it, the more that you can perfect it, which is the next point as well. You want to try and focus on these kind of simple movements that will make you a better athlete and that will make you a better lifter if you actually master them. So to master something, you have to repeat it. So yes, you will get tired of doing dumbbell lunges and pull-ups and face pulls and sled pulls, RDLs, that kind of stuff, alternating curls. That's pretty much the staple of every fucking lifter. And if you look at some of the best lifters, they're doing kind of the same shit with slight variations to the movement depending on if they're hurt, if they have a limitation, if they got some sort of impingement or imbalance. They're pretty much the same movements because they work. They've been proven to work. There's nothing wrong with them. It's like tires on a car. You're not going to replace these fucking tires with some badass jets just because, although a jet car would be pretty cool, like hover tires or something, just because they came out. Tires fucking work. You're not going to replace them with fucking like couple pizza boxes. You just don't do it. The tire always works. It'll get you from point A from point B. Sometimes you get a newer tire. Sometimes you get a newer brand, but it depends on the movement, but that fucking tire works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So that brings us to the next one. Which I put it third, but it's cost to benefit ratio. This is what I use in this gym, what I use with my athletes. The cost to benefit ratio. What is the cost to the benefit? This is a kind of a rule of nature. What is the cost to the benefit of that movement? If you are tired, if you just did max effort, if you just deadlifted heavy, if you did repetition, is there value in adding 300 pounds of chains and doing a good morning where you're gonna get fucking leveled into the ground with the safety squat bar just because it looks cool or because it has value? Will you put, you know, fucking bands with kettlebells on a shoulder overhead press after you just did 2 sessions of bench because you're wobbling around and end up just killing yourself, although it's probably a decent movement for therapy? Everything has a cost to benefit ratio. How are you feeling? What is going to be the benefit of the movement? Will you get good blood flow? Will you get good muscular development? Will you build strength? Are you going to build mental fortitude? Are you going to get better at this movement? Are you going to be a better athlete? Or are you just going to crush yourself into the ground because you wanted to try something you saw on fucking Instagram? So please consider these things, cost to benefit ratio of what you're going to do. Sometimes doing something very simple has a lot of benefit with very little cost to the body. It's not going to affect the joints that much. It's going to take less time to do it, so you have more time to work out and do things that are positive, etc., etc. And perfection. If you work simple things, you have more time to perfect these movements so that you can get more out of the movements. I can tell you right now, somebody that benches on their first year and on their 15th year, I guarantee you they're getting more out of their bench and their bench session after benching for 10 to 15 years than the first 2-3 years. Even if they were stronger back then, probably because they're using more muscles, and different parts of their body and getting a better lift, getting a more productive lift, being a better athlete, more power, more movement, because they've learned the movement over time. Perfecting the movement. If it's a simple movement, then yes, it is very important. And this comes mostly with supplementary movements and accessory movements. There's nothing, not bashing anything else. Just try to keep this stuff simple. So that's pretty much the kind of main point I wanted to touch on is these three things, because you'll notice that as you start to get higher or stronger or the peak of your strength, you have less energy to do things that are just kind of crazy. If you squat 6x2 and you're squatting 600 pounds and that's your human limit, on your sixth set, you're pretty fucking trashed. So it's not gonna be really easy to go ahead and do, front squats for 4 sets of 8 with chains, with a safety squat bar. Then after that, you're gonna do, sled sprints, and then you're gonna do, dumbbell, like one arm snatch. Like, it doesn't make sense when you get to a certain part. Everything starts to become quote unquote, smaller and more compact cost to benefit ratio. What will make you a better athlete with the most benefit for the cost? It doesn't mean you don't work hard. You're obviously working hard with movements that mean more and will produce more. So next time you're programming or answer these questions, the answer to that question, in my opinion, is yes. Everything absolutely works. If they want to try new things, by all means, of course, it's very important to vary things, to teach new movements so that they can learn the movement, so they can do it every once in a while. Of course, have fun, change it, vary it, grow, learn it, teach it, yes, yes, yes. But when it comes down to basic training, to be great at something, a lot of times it involves repetition. It involves a lot of hard work and sticking to something and being disciplined. It's like Mike Tyson says, what is the definition of discipline? It's doing shit that you hate but acting like you love it. It's a concept of getting better. It's like a boxer not working on his jab because he thinks he already has it, so he's gonna stop throwing the jab. Ask a boxer when he doesn't throw a fucking jab, but he throws 1,000 every 2 days. So consider this thing that all sports are related. Next time you hit the gym, cost to benefit ratio, simplicity, perfection. Cool? Cheers.